So please share your name, role, company, and give us some brief background about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Jason Hobart. I'm the executive vice president here at Echo 360. My background is in helping organizations measure, develop, and improve workforce skills, and then connect that development to actual business outcomes. Here at Echo 360, my team specifically focuses on helping large, distributed, frontline organizations make training, SOPs, compliance, and operational guidance easier to access and ultimately easier to measure. And in grocery, I think that's important because associates need the right information quickly, consistently, and often while they're already on the floor.
Why is ongoing frontline workforce training so important in today's grocery ecosystem?
We get this question all the time. I think it's because, grocery moves too fast for training to be a one-time event or candidly something buried in a paper binder. And I think products, promotions, whether it's food safety expectations, store processes, they're constantly changing. And so associates need guidance. They need access to quickly apply that knowledge, apply that information, often while on the floor. And that's where Echo 360 comes in to make training and operational knowledge easier to find, easier to update, and easier to measure across the distributed workforce that tends to be in the world of grocery.
What are the easiest and most effective ways to onboard grocery associates and also to keep them in compliance with certain standards?
I don't think there's any one answer to that question, but I do think our customers tend to take the approach of a role based, mobile, and measurable approach. So you mean think about a cashier, someone in produce, and a customer service associate. They don't need the same training path or training paths. They need short, they need practical training, digital SOPs, maybe quick reference job aids, and clear guidance to the work, tying to the work that they're doing. The Whole Foods case study is a great example. They moved operational procedures and user guides, job aids out of static and printed material, static PDFs and printed material, and into our platform so their frontline teams could access that information in the workflow on the actual floor of the grocery store.
So, what technical or operational barriers do grocers usually face when switching from paper manuals to these digital training platforms?
Often companies or organizations go in thinking it's tech, and candidly, I don't think it's tech. I think it's years of untangling paper and PDF processes, local workarounds, and maybe unclear ownership of content. Whole Foods described this as kind of an old model, static PDFs and printed materials that had become outdated, and it created inconsistency for them. And so Echo, when we get in there, we talk about making the process more easy, move to operational procedures and user guides and job aids into one single platform. And I think that change works best when the grocer thinks about what are the most high impact workflows that they want to digitize first. And so taking things in small chunks. So I think it's untangling the mess and then taking things in small steps.
So, how can grocery organizations improve communication and operational alignment across stores, departments, and frontline teams?
I think this is one of the biggest challenges that grocers face for sure, and candidly, any organization with a very distributed frontline organization or frontline team of people. And I think they need to treat communications and training as the same, right? It's a single program. So you look at a new promotion, maybe a food safety change, a merchandising update, or a new procedure. It should not stop with just an email to store leaders. It should become more clear frontline guidance. Who needs to know what they need to know by when, and then how do they verify that completion? I think it was McKinsey who said store differentiation now depends on connecting labor, digital tools, and execution. And I think with Echo 360, grocers have the ability to deploy kind of a single source of truth across all stores and departments, and that makes things measurable. And I think that's what becomes important is making it measurable so you can identify what the what and the how and the when.
So, building on that, how can grocers connect training and communication efforts to measurable business outcomes?
I think we get lost in the tech sometimes, and I think grocers and any organization really should start with what's the business outcome we're driving towards. Are we trying to reduce controllable out of stocks? Is it shorten the onboarding time? Maybe improve food safety compliance, reduce shrink, or even improve customer experience. And I think once you know that, you can design the training and the comms around that outcome. And then more specifically, if you design around the outcome, you can track completion, understanding, and execution. I think it was Whole Foods. They accelerated training by 60% and reduced controllable out of stocks by 40. And that generated nearly a $2 million savings for Whole Foods at the time. And I love that example because I think it's tying training directly to store performance. And again, that business outcome I talked about.
And finally, what role does employee development play in improving retention and reducing turnover among frontline associates?
I think development candidly is retention. I think frontline associates are more likely to stay when they feel confident, they feel supported, and able to grow. I mean, any employee, right? That applies to anybody, but yeah, I think even more so in a high stakes environment like a grocery store. And I think McKinsey said it best. They point to labor availability and skill constraints as barriers to that constant store execution. And so development is not just an HR program anymore; it's an operating imperative. I think for grocers like Whole Foods and even Albertsons, that means helping associates become confident faster, and then giving managers a clear view of who needs more, where can I spend time, and who should I spend time with.